Hey everyone, this is Lori Delk-Radecki with the Nashville Networking Business Luncheon. So we do these several times a month all across Middle Tennessee every single week. So 5 times a month we are in person, and 4 times a month every single Tuesday we are right here live on Zoom. So if you're willing to get out and meet in person, you're welcome to meet us. And then, of course, you can also meet us every week right here on Zoom. The schedule you can find at NashvilleNetworkingBusinessLuncheon.com. We also have a group on Facebook as well as a group on LinkedIn if you would like to join us there. So each week we have a speaker who talks to us for about 10 to 15 minutes on tips, tricks, and ideas, things that can help you anywhere in your personal as well as your business life to help get you to that next level. After that, we go around the room, exchange business cards here on Zoom, obviously virtually. And then everyone has a 1-minute spiel where they can give us their name, what they do for a living, and how we can better refer other people to you. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So our speaker today is Mr. Terry Lancaster. Please give him your attention.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Nashville Networking Luncheon, the broadcast. I'm going to tell you my Forrest Gump story. Started like this a few years ago for no particular reason. On one particular day, I started to run. Now, you can only see me from the head up. I'm not near as thin and handsome in person as I am on the screen. So I'm built like a tree stump, and I always have been. So I'm a big old boy, and I decided to run. The first day I go out to run, I can't run to the mailbox without stopping to catch my breath. The second day, I make it to the stop sign, and that's an accomplishment for me. But I decided I'm going to keep running. And eventually I worked my way up to running a mile. And the first day I ran a mile, I'm coming home like it's Rocky. I've got my hands in the air and I'm waving. I got the theme from Survivor playing in my head. And I had this thought. I'd read a book by a young lady by the name of Gretchen Rubin. I believe it's called The Happiness Project. And she said this: what you do every day matters more than what you do every once in a while. So I put that in my little laboratory brain with some information that I had about Jerry Seinfeld. And Jerry Seinfeld, everyone knows him as the comedian, but he also has a productivity hack that is famous in productivity circles, and people talk about this all the time, the Seinfeld technique for developing any habit, no matter what that you want the habit to be, and that is start keeping track of a streak. Do it one day. Damon was just talking about tiny victories. The idea of this behind this, if you do it one day, you celebrate, you wave your arms in the air like you just don't care. And then you start building that habit, and you do it again the next day, and you do it again the next day, you do it again the next day. So I decided that I was going to run a mile every single day. And I started on December 1st, 2014. And I ran a mile. And I ran a mile on the 2nd, and I ran a mile on the 3rd. And I was doing it to see, I wanted to see how many days in a row I could do it. And just like Forrest Gump, I kept on doing it. I ran in the snow. It was like I've ran in Saskatchewan in 30 below. I've ran in 7 inches of snow. I've ran in thunderstorms. I've ran in ice storms. I've ran in lightning. That's the fastest my little fat butt ever ran. When it starts lightning, I'm in a hurry to get back to home. And it always starts when I'm at the farthest point from the house. So that's when the lightning strikes, and I got to go. I ran along the beach. I ran up a mountain, I ran down a mountain, I ran across the plains of Kansas, and I ran across the Golden Gate Bridge. I ran every single day for almost 4 years. And then one day, I didn't. I had a bad day. I drove to Knoxville to pick up my daughter from college, and it rained the whole way there, and it rained the whole way back. And I had the giant trucks bringing their headlights right in the back of my eyelids through the mirror there. And I had a vicious. I was supposed to get home at 7 o'clock. Ended up getting home at 10 o'clock. Had a vicious headache from the drive. And instead of going to run for my daily run for that day, I fell asleep. And I woke up the next day. And the rain had passed. The sun was shining. It's a beautiful day, just like it is now. The sun was shining in. The birds were chirping. And the first thing Terry thought was, man, it's a good day. I'm going to go to the park, get me a run in. And then it hit me that I didn't run the day before, that I had broken my streak and I hadn't done the thing. I'd done it every single day for almost 4 years. This was in November. I'd done it every single day for almost 4 years. I was 3 weeks shy of my 4-year anniversary, and I broke the streak. I messed up. Now, my mind immediately starts going to, okay, well, I don't have to do that anymore. Well, that's over. Or then my mind goes to the place where I can just tell everybody that I don't have to mention that to anybody, because I've been bragging about it on the internet. I wrote about it in my book. This was kind of a big deal to me. I mean, I'm not sure anybody else cared, but it was definitely a big deal to me that I broke the streak. But I didn't roll over and play dead, and I didn't hide under the covers and let the streak pass and pretend it was still going. What I did is I went to Facebook and I typed the word 1 in, and I went for a run that day. And I started my streak all over. I went from 1,700 days to 1 day overnight. And I started running again. And I ran every single day. And I was so much prouder of that second streak than the first one, because what you do every day matters more than what you do every once in a while. But what you do after you fail matters more than what you do when you're just starting out. Everyone's got great ideas. Everybody looks good coming out of the starting gate. But what happens when life knocks you down? When you get pushed to the mat, it's your ability to get back up. So I was so much more proud of that second streak that ended up going almost 600 days, around almost another 2 years, until, unfortunately, Ryan, we started playing hockey again in July, and I played hockey 2 nights in a row and hyperextended my knee. And when the next day came, I couldn't run. I couldn't run at all. So my second streak ended at about 600 days. And what I did then is I got back up off the mat. I couldn't run, but I could walk. So I ran every day for 5 years, except for that 1 day. And for the last 6 months, I've walked every day for at least a mile. Me and my wife and my children, we take a walk every single day. What happens when you get off the mat is what counts. And we've all been going through this COVID crisis, and it's been something for everybody. Everybody's going through something different together. I have no idea what your tragedy is, what your complications this has caused in your life. But one of the things I like to ask people is, what's the best thing that's happened to you because of COVID this year? What's the best thing that's happened in your life? How has this been a positive force in your life? And I tell everyone, in our house, my daughter who went to school at the University of Tennessee. She went to school for 4 years, went through, did the classes, and she was about a semester shy of graduating when she decided that she didn't really know what she wanted to do with her life. She was spinning her wheels in Knoxville, and she took some time off. And I don't know how many of you are parents and have had some kids take some time off from school. I don't know how many of you took some time off from school when you were there. But I know this, most of the time when someone takes time off, that's code word for I ain't going back. Because your life knocked you down to the mat, and getting up is hard. But with the COVID crisis this year and all the classes going online, my daughter was able to take classes online and not go back to Knoxville. She was able to take classes online and continue her education while she was still working full time. And we just got it set up. 2 weeks from Sunday, we're driving to Knoxville again for her graduation. It took us 7 years to get there. It took 4 years of classes and a couple of years off, and then a worldwide pandemic for her to get her education. But she got back up off the mat, because what you do after life pushes you down at what matters. And I know we're here to talk about sales, and Laurie had pushed something in there that I was going to talk about social selling, but this applies to everything. Tiny victories is the big thing. We all set these ideas up in our life of what our life is going to be like, what our career is going to be like, how things are going to go. And when we don't get there immediately, the gyms are always full on January 2nd, but by January 5th, January 10th, everyone's going, that didn't work, and they back out. But if you set yourself up and you take little steps, one tiny step at a time, make that extra call, connect with that extra customer, post that extra video on Facebook, whatever it is you need to do, one tiny step forward. Any step forward is a good step. Just like a shark never sleeps. They're constantly moving. You have to maintain forward momentum. Even when you hit the brick wall, maintain forward momentum, jump over the wall, and see what happens when you get back up again. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Thank you so much, Terry. And once again, if you are watching us online, if you're not on our list and you would like to be notified of our great speakers we have each week, go to NashvilleNetworkingBusinessLuncheon.com. You can fill out the form there and we will add you to our notification list. You can also join our groups on Facebook as well as LinkedIn, Nashville Networking Business Luncheon. Thanks so much, everyone. This ends our recorded portion.